Oh, I'm just really realizing that my marriage is over and it's really bad. Oh, I'm really sad.
Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I appreciate you clicking on the video to watch it, and since you're here, I would love it if you would also hit that subscribe button and help me to grow this channel. And to those of you that are returning, welcome back. I truly do appreciate your continued support of my channel, and I hope that you are subscribed as well. So I opened the video with a few clips of women crying on TikTok, particularly about divorce, because I know that this is something I have mentioned in a few of my videos in the past, but for those of you who don't explore this content as much as I do, I just wanted to make you aware of how truly common this is. And I don't know why this trend has taken hold of women crying on the internet, but it is a big problem. I'm a woman, clearly. We're all human beings. We have the things that we struggle with. We go through things in life, we go through challenges, and some things are harder than others. We all have our moments. It has never occurred to me when I feel that wave of emotion, when the weight of the world just kind of hits me all at one time, when I feel those tears welling up in my eyes, it has never ever crossed my mind to grab my camera, set it up at that perfect angle, and start to record myself and then post it online for the world to see. I find it interesting as well that this is also in this supposed boss babe era, in this strong independent women phase of history, where all of these women just want to be seen as completely capable and to be taken seriously. And yet they're the ones that are leading this trend. I'm inviting women to stop it. It does not make any sense. It's not doing you any favors. It doesn't make you look strong and independent. And in fact, it kind of makes you look a little insane. And that's not to say that you should keep your feelings to yourself, or that you should suffer in silence, or not take your issues to anybody else and just deal with them completely on your own. But let's normalize just taking these things to our friends and family, the people that are actually close to us in our lives, and looking for support from them. Because I also think that with this increased trend of women handling their emotions this way, posting it on TikTok and posting it on social media, I think that it has also given women this false sense of support, and they truly think that the people that are commenting on their accounts are their people, this legitimate support system. But in reality, we're seeing all of these reports come out, how increasingly depressed women are in particular, and that loneliness has pretty much become an epidemic at this point. But the real reason I wanted to talk about this is because a lot of the times, at least a lot of the videos that I have seen of women crying, are particularly in relation to divorce. They'll record these videos of themselves crying and just, sometimes there's just this sad music. Sometimes there is dialogue where they're talking about how sad they feel and explaining their situation and how tough it is to be alone. And the assumption is that the situation that they just left must have been so terrible because there's no way that they would choose to be this miserable. The assumption is also that they must have just left a really toxic and abusive relationship, that the man must have been absolutely terrible, and we can't even question if the woman is the victim in this situation. But I do think that there are several things that call the credibility of that argument into question. First, a lot of people still cite this statistic of 50% of marriages ending in divorce. I don't know if that is accurate. I know that there are a lot of things that are just generally not considered in that statistic, but of the number of divorces that are happening, they are primarily being initiated by women. But I have to wonder, have we really had that big of an increase of abusive men that are just creating completely hostile environments for women? Because I truly do not think that is the case. But I do think that we have expanded the definition of words like toxic and abusive, and at this point, it just means any situation where you are not 100% happy all the time. I also think that there is an aspect of heavy social contagion that is contributing to the number of women that are filing for divorce. I think a lot of these women take their issues to social media, take them to TikTok, and they ask people for advice on something that they might be struggling with within their marriage. But what happens is that they end up in this algorithm that feeds them a lot of women talking about the same issues, and they offer their perspective, or they start to hear a lot of women say that, you know, this is truly toxic behavior, or the thing that he is doing, the thing that you have mentioned, is actually considered abuse. And suddenly it just gets in these women's heads that the thing that they just had a question about, trying to figure out, trying to solve, is now actually grounds for divorce. And you can disagree with me on that all you want and say that there is no way that someone would make such a significant decision such as divorce based on something that they heard on social media, but I think it is indisputable that we have seen a drastic increase in concerning behaviors of people doing the most destructive, insane things that aligns with the popularity of TikTok. So that really long lead up does have a point, because just a couple of days ago, maybe within the last week, this video was going around on Twitter of this woman in her kitchen baking herself birthday cupcakes and trying to put on a brave face for her children. At least that is the story that she is telling. And so she's standing in her kitchen, she's alone, she's crying, of course. She's got the emotional music playing over top of this video. And this, of course, is going to tug at our heartstrings and again just play into that idea that she is so sad, she is so alone, but there's no way that she would choose this unless she just really had no other choice, and that the man she left must have been absolutely awful, and you know, that we're all just supposed to pray for her and believe her and just assume that she is just a single mom trying to get by. I'll play just a few seconds of this video. I'll have to play it on silent because she has a song playing over top of it that will get me a copyright notification on this video, so I can't play the song, but we can just watch the video real quick. So the caption says, being a single mom is making your own birthday cake on your birthday so that your babies can feel happy they are singing to you. She's sobbing, the tears are streaming down her face. So similar to some of the other things that we have seen. And the thing is, when women post these videos, we want to assume that they are being honest, even though I think that there is a lot of this main character syndrome that is happening as well, where women just want to be the star of their own reality show, which is why they portray themselves in this way, with the crying and the sobbing and the drama, and then the music as well. And it's just, again, it just looks completely ridiculous. But something else is that we never ever get to hear the other side of the story. We never get to hear the man's perspective. And that is something that I am always wondering as well. Was he really that awful? Was he really that toxic? Was he the abusive one? Did he really create this kind of environment that you had no choice but to leave? Because we do need to remember that there is always two sides to the story. And we might hear the other side of a story in the occasional situation, and that person might be just as awful as the woman or whoever's creating the video portrays them to be. 99% of the time, we don't get to hear from them. So honestly, whoever is on the other side of this relationship, on the other side of this equation, doesn't get to have that voice, doesn't get to defend themselves. And so they are left with whatever assumptions that people make about them just from what the woman is posting. That is really damaging to men in general, because you have all of these women claiming that they're married to these toxic, abusive men. And with how many women are doing this, the idea is becoming that there is just this increase in men that are toxic and abusive and horrible, and we have all of these women just all too willing to believe it. However, this time we do get to hear the ex's side of the story, and it is not looking good for this woman, and honestly it just makes all women who do this look really bad.
So I've been sent this video a lot over the last few days, people asking my thoughts and my comments on it, and before anyone says, oh, you don't know her situation, or you don't know what she's going through, well, I do, because I lived it. I'm her ex-husband, and right now I have full custody of our kids. This is our parent agreement. As you can see, I have all weekdays and weekends, time sharing with the kids, all at holiday academic breaks. And for her to get any rights back to the kids, these are the things that she needs to do.
I'm going to pause it right there just for a second. So some of the things that she has to do to get her kids back is a completion of, at her expense, a psychiatric examination, maintaining gainful employment for a continuous period of not less than 6 months. I think the bottom part is talking about a permanent residence, something that she has lived in for at least 6 months. And I think the last one says something about completing a parenting course.
And yes, child support. She owes that. It's up to over $21,000. So she's a mother and doesn't pay child support. She was then arrested for check fraud, and during that hearing, it turned out that it was found that she stole almost $1 million from another guy. And also, she faked cancer in the past. These are scans that she would send and post on her page before. So, to sum it up, this person, for people that follow her or giving her praise and telling her how strong and how, amazing she's doing, well, she's really not a full-time mom. She barely has her kids. She goes out all the time. And she doesn't even have a job even. So she just really not someone that other single moms should really be looking towards as for inspiration or anything like that.
There you have it. Obviously, this is not to say that every woman who posts about their divorce on TikTok is lying, but we do have reason to question the credibility, to question how bad things were that made you leave, to question what you were doing in this situation. And I'm hoping that it'll encourage people to hold back judgment, particularly on the way that they are trying to portray their husband's role in things, and really start to question if we really have that many truly toxic men in society, or if women, again, are just so determined to be the star of their own show that they're embellishing some of the circumstances that they are in, or embellishing the story, because the truth tends to not make the best content. And secondly, something I just want to throw in here, because it was interesting. I was talking to my husband about this situation earlier, and he was more of the opinion that perhaps there was more the husband could have done to make this situation work, or there's more that they could have done as a couple. And generally, I think that most of these situations, particularly the ones that women post about on TikTok, I think that there is a lot more that can be done. If you really want to make your marriage work, then you work at it and you figure it out. And all of these things that they are claiming are so bad that they needed to leave really aren't. And I truly think most of it are things that they can work through. But in this situation, I don't think so. When you have somebody that's committing check fraud, when they're scamming people, when they are of such a narcissistic mindset where they have no problem filming themselves sobbing, pretending that their kids are in the next room, that she is trying to uplift them, knowing that based on what we are seeing here with these documents, more than likely that these kids are not even in the home with her, that is a whole new level of mental illness. And I truly don't think that that is someone that this husband could work through things with. This is a deeply, deeply disturbed individual. And I know that a lot of people talk about men's rights and how they get screwed over in divorce, which I think in most cases they really do. But for a husband to get full custody of their kids, and for the judge to issue so many different things that a woman has to do to be able to see her kids, there has got to be some major issues. So I do think that this is one of those situations where he probably looked at the situation and he's like, we've got kids here. Are these kids even safe being raised by this person who is clearly struggling mentally, to put it lightly? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts on this in the comments below. Honestly, I just have to say, I think women are so lost right now. I think they are just being pulled in 97 different directions just with their emotions. And I think that they just don't even know which way is up anymore. And I'm not excusing women's behavior by any means, because women are capable of being so much better than this. But I think that we are seeing the worst of the worst in women at this point, and it is having devastating effects across society. So I don't point these things out to be insulting to women or to bring them down. I am hoping that women really start to look at this content and reevaluate who they are as people and who they want to be, and their contributions to society, and the fact that who they are as people, who they are at their core, not these self-made reality TV stars, not these victims, not these boss babes, but who they are at their core. I hope they start to reevaluate that and start to change their mindset, because they're not happy. They're not doing things. Women are not doing things that are making them feel fulfilled and content. And they're dragging men and children and the entirety of society down with them. And I just don't really think that women are understanding the impact that they are having on the rest of the world with how lost that they have become. Anyway, drop your comments below. I would love to hear all the things. Again, make sure that you are subscribed. I am trying to grow this channel. Let me know the things that you guys would like me to talk about, because I do try and explore different topics at different times. But I am interested in what you guys want to have conversations about. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one.